Greetings, out and about, keeping consistent, getting results. Anyway, so guys, we're about to run out of Bitcoin, man. I was thinking today, we don't have enough. There's not enough to go around. I was going through the list of the people or the entities that are availing themselves to the precious digital gold, and we have large companies like BlackRock, we have countries like the United States, we have states like Utah, we have all sorts. Now we have universities are starting to have their own little plans. All of these guys that are doing it now, they're kind of the outliers, right? The pioneers. But we're coming to a time when absolutely everybody's going to be doing it from every corner of the globe, right? So what's going to happen? We're going to run out. Because by the time those guys actually get around to doing it, the likes of BlackRock, the state of Utah, all of those guys would have bought up, scooped up all the liquid BTC that's on the system. And these guys are going to have to, get on the market like everybody else. And when is this going to happen? That is the bit I don't know. What I do know is that it is going to happen. So it's a matter of just grabbing as much as possible now, not financial advice, and just sitting on it like you would, property, a stash of gold, or any other way that you preserve your wealth, right? So that could be, let me cross the road, land, what have you. Only this is very, very nimble, so you can take it with you wherever you're going, right? You don't need the nation state to protect it. You don't need a giant organization like an international bank to hold it, so that you can move from one place to the other, especially when, we're talking about people with billions of dollars, right? Most people, the amount that they have anyway isn't that much. But, people have a significant amount of wealth. This is the first time in history that you can have it in a place where you could just up and go. No need for a conglomerate to third party it for you, to be a third party counterparty to help you move the stuff across. You don't have to sell the land. You don't have to auction off your gold. Nothing. Just up and go. You've got your seed phrase. It's in your head. The more people realize that this is what it is, and it's not just some sort of magic internet money, and it's not a kind of dark, underground, illegal thing that people are doing, like the authorities would have them believe, there's going to be a massive rush, and there's going to be a big gold rush. But at the moment, the market isn't behaving like that because we have a lot of macro FUD. Obviously, we have the tariffs causing havoc, the looming tariff wars. Funny thing is, the actual wars haven't started, but they're still in the gesture stage where each party, notably the United States versus China. I think Canada and Mexico are sort of, they're in the backseat now, because if you consider the size of the economies of the United States versus China, that's truly global calibrating stuff. So whatever China does, that's going to affect what happens to the price of pretty much absolutely everything. Not directly at Bitcoin, but as a collateral damage of it affecting what happens on Wall Street. The irony of that is the solution actually to all these tariff wars is actually crypto, right? Bitcoin is the solution. If you're very, very wealthy and you're afraid that the United States dollar is going to lose value, there's going to be a recession and all this sort of stuff, Bitcoin, that's where you should run to. But again, because we're dealing with Wall Street traders, old school algorithms that suddenly got really busy on this road now. Old school algorithms that still use old world calculations to make decisions, risky equity stocks, dump when, we're fearful, dump quote unquote risky stocks. And the belief that Bitcoin is still some kind of risk, like a stock, right? Like a tech stock. And that's what's controlling that relationship between Bitcoin and tech stocks, and why it dumps along with those risky stocks in the stock market. Before I got out of the house, also, Jerome Powell was on TV giving evidence to, I think, the Senate committee. And I listened to some, I had no idea who it was, but I think it was a Democrat, and she was almost like appealing to Jerome Powell, almost like begging the guy, say like, look, you have so much power, we'll see that you're removing all of these Biden era or Democrat era policies. It might be nice now, he might be, pleasing Trump at the moment, but, it's going to come back to bite you in the bum. Something to that effect. Anyway, I had no idea what Powell actually said after that, but I'm hoping they didn't say anything drastic, because by the time I get home, then who knows, maybe there's another 5 to 10% dip in the price of BTC, which would then have a follow-on effect on the rest of the tokens. Another thing I wanted to mention was the little sort of thing that's stirring up between XLM and XRP. Now, if you guys remember a couple of videos ago, I talked about elephants fighting and the grass being the one that gets hurt because you're the one at the bottom and stomped by these giant legs. So there was like a bit of a back and forth, I think, between, I guess, the big guys at Stellar and the big guys at Ripple. Now remember that Ripple is just a company, right? They're not the XRP ledger, they're a company. So whatever they do, that's up to them, that's their business. It has nothing to do with you or your XRP holdings. So don't become emotional and get involved in some kind of emotional arguments with maybe Stellar holders or whatever. I mean, besides, they're a sister token, right? So most XRP holders also hold XLM, to be honest. So you'd be fighting with yourself in the mirror, I guess. It's just a little bit silly. I saw a few people commentate on that. I looked at the actual, and what was actually said. It was kind of dumb, more like anything else, right? Yeah, they kind of went after Ripple having so many lawyers and how, that's not progress. And completely leaving out the fact that those lawyers that they've been criticized for having are the ones that defeated the SEC to the benefit of pretty much every crypto, right? And especially Stellar, right? So without those lawyers, there's every chance that Stellar Lumens and Stellar would be entangled in a legal battle with the SEC themselves, and not having the kind of funds that Ripple has, they may not have been able to succeed. And in fact, the company Ripple stood in front and took the bullets for all the others, right? So rather than being grateful, and rather than standing behind a fellow crypto project against the common enemy, instead they've gone the divisive route. And this is how the authorities win, is to divide and conquer. Because can you imagine if all of the crypto companies, right, all the CEOs, all the exchanges and all of that, banded together, pooled funds, got one group of lawyers that basically went after the SEC and fought back, then we would have maybe resolved this a long time ago. Also would have put the fear of God in some of these executives. And to move one step further, they could probably hire investigators to do probes into these corrupt organizations, corrupt members of the government, and actually put some of that information out in the public. That will put the fear of God in them too. But instead, Bitcoin maximalists are there trying to work with government officials to probe Ripple because they don't like the fact that XRP is taking a little bit of their lunch when it comes to which token is going to be used as the strategic reserve, right? Anyway, I took the opportunity today to buy the dip. Not financial advice, do your own diligent research. But I think we're at the precipice of something great. And this is just accumulation period. That is just more opportunity to acquire more. And I think that, man, there's a big green candle on the way that's going to absolutely melt faces. I know it keeps getting kicked down the line, especially when it comes to XRP and whatever. The can keeps getting kicked down the road, but March is just in the horizon, man, just over the horizon. Do you guys remember before we did that 5x just a couple of months ago, how long it took to actually get there? And how, like, people were like, oh, when is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? And all of a sudden, within the space of 24 hours to 48 hours, we went from 45 cents to like £2 and 80 something pence or something like that. Crazy. And something similar is going to happen. I think people are saying by March, whenever it happens, it's going to happen, and I'm here for it. And every day that I get to grab some more, I'll do just that. I'll grab some more, which is what I've done today. Bro, it's freezing cold here, man. So I'm gonna call it a day. Take care of yourself.